Hey guys, and welcome to the updated version of Overpass for Noobs, as the old version is a little bit older and outdated. But anyway, starting right off here with the callouts, and I should state that different regions call different places different things, but I'll try to cover as many of the ones that I have heard the best I can. But starting right off, we are in T-spawn. Heading over here is going to be T-steps, which heads up towards A. And running down here is long B. And then jumping down these stairs is going to be Monster, Monster Tunnel, or just Monster. Down here, a lot of people call this Pit. Some people call it Long B. Right here is called Pillar. Some people call it Dildo. Some people call it Column. Over here is Barrels, sometimes called Toxic. Down here is usually called Water. Sometimes this is called Pit, rather than over there. Just keep that in mind. Over here is Wood. Over here is Graffiti. And right over there is going to be CT Steps. Right here is either Catwalk or Walkway. Default or Safe. Open. And then again, right here is just Safe from Graffiti. Heading over here is Sandbags or Short B. Down into here is Construction. Jumping up, this is going to be Squeaky. And then down here is Connector, T-Connector, Ladder, and then we come back over towards T-Steps or T-Connector. And then coming up over here to these steps, again, Connector. A lot of people call this Gay Spot or Close Right or Close Left, depending on which direction you're coming from, but usually it's just Close Right since you won't be able to see anybody coming from here. But anyways, coming up these stairs is Connector. Over here, we get into Short A. Up here is Party. Down here is Fountain. And this whole area in general is called Fountain, but sometimes, again, this is called T-Connector or T-Steps. Over here is Playground, which heads into Long A. Right here is Rock. Tree. Going into here is Long Bathrooms, which leads into Short Bathrooms. Then outside of Short Bathrooms is Short. Heading back over towards Long, though, we have Flower Box. Sometimes people call this Boost. And then again, Long A. APC or Van. Default. Default boxes or mid boxes, middle boxes. Right here is Optimus or Truck. Coming on over here is Dumpster. Steps or Stairs, which leads down into CT Steps and Heaven, which is right here, Heaven, which looks down into the B site. Coming back up the stairs, we get to Bank, Steps, followed by Bank, Bank Dumpster. Now heading back down here, we have A Main, Bench, and right here is also a common boost spot, so people call this Boost because you can see over through here and into Party, so keep that in mind, Boost. And that is it for the callout segments. Let me know if I missed anything in the comments so that I can sort of, well, let people know. But anyways, we'll now move on to the part of the video where we go over some basic strategies for both sides, starting off with the T side. So as a terrorist, taking the B site is a little bit difficult just because of the small choke points, but also a little bit difficult for the CTs to retake, and there's a couple basic strategies that you'll see played out in MM or even a little bit higher ranks, which I guess which is why they're called the defaults, because they're the default plays. But first and foremost, a lot of times you'll have either an opper or a rifler posted up right here to try and get a quick pick on anybody peeking close left. But on pistol rounds and eco rounds, and even sometimes on rifle rounds, the strategy is just rush B, no stop. I know it's a meme, but that's kind of how it is. People will throw over some flashbangs like so or whatever. Come in, take the aim duels at Barrels, Dildo, Pit, wherever, and try and just overwhelm the CTs and take the site as quickly as possible. Like so. But that's kind of like the YOLO, pistol round, eco round strat. But anyways, a more slow, methodical approach is to have, again, that opper or rifler posted up here, get that quick pick, or posted somewhere down here. Make sure nobody's pushing you from there. And once you have monster control, you can either have people start edging their way into here, clearing out barrels in close right, making sure nobody's going to be peeking from there, taking out your teammates, and having a couple people push into construction, clearing out connector, make sure nobody's going to be pushing from there, make sure nobody's boosting, and take care of short control, making sure nobody's pushing from sandbags. And then what you're going to want to do is smoke off, at the very least, Heaven and Catwalk, which is very simple. There's no sort of jump throws involved, but to smoke off Heaven, first and foremost, bring yourself into the corner of this sign right here. Place your crosshair between the actual post and the little wire dongle thingy here, whatever it's called. Right about here in the middle, and throw. And it should land right in Heaven like so. And you smoke off short / catwalk right there. It is, again, very simple. Come into the middle of this little box right here. Crouch. And aim just about here on the little black bulb and throw. I should bounce off a couple of times and land right about there and block off anybody from graffiti seeing you cross over, or anybody from CT steps as well. Now there are a couple of Molotovs you can throw to clear out the rest of the site. The first one, what you want to do is line yourself up right here where this little gray part of the wall is, and this will clear out barrels, and aim just right about here where this little part of the overpass is, and throw. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but you do want it to at least reach there. I kind of threw it shitty, but it should at least clear out anybody here. Let's try that again. Whoops. So again, you just jump up here, line yourself up with here, and aim right about here. And that should land at barrels. Another one you can throw is to come up to these dots right here. They're like the third one's in. 1, 2, 3. Right in the middle of there. And then aim right about here where this dot is, and that should bounce off and land right there, and that'll clear out that corner of water. So those are some basic smokes you can throw to help you take the B site. So obviously when you throw them, you execute. Maybe have these guys throw some flashes over, have the guys in monster throw some flashes over, and then take the duels here and here, and, well, hopefully push it as a unit. I know it's a little bit difficult in MM, but those are some basic smokes and Molotovs to help you take the site. There's also another one that you can use if you just have one smoke and you want to do that fast take and you want to smoke off the angle over here where somebody's holding right here watching short. And it's very simple to throw. Once again, you just come up to this barrel right here, aim just to the right of the antenna, and throw. It should land somewhere in the middle of the site, sort of, just blocking off that area right there, so that he can't really see you coming into short unless he exposes his entire body. So those are the basic sort of tips for the B site. Now heading on over towards the A site. So taking A as a terrace is a little bit more of a process since, well, you have to have a lot more map control. And first and foremost, you want to make sure that nobody's going to be picking you from here or up here with an op. So I recommend either coming up and saying, hey team, I'm going to flash, and just throwing a flash like that to either make them turn away or push them back, and then you can push in once it's popped and take those duels if anybody happens to be there. Once you've cleared those angles, you're going to want to clear bathroom there, maybe even come up here, clear this area down here, this area here, have a couple people push into connector so that you're not fighting a headshot angle right here. And then once you have short control, you can start to take bathroom control, make sure nobody's peeking from long, take bathroom control here, and short control over here. Might also be wise to have somebody trying to take long, maybe even 2 people. First and foremost, check tree, rock, and flower box. Good idea to have an opper. Kind of check here, 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 here. Obviously you don't want to just dry peek and slow peek, but maybe have somebody flash over like so, and then have them peek flower box like that. But once you have map control, you are ready to take the A site. And I do like to throw a couple of smokes, one for bank and one for steps. And they're fairly easy to throw, but I should note that these 2 ones that I'm about to show you are for 64 tick, and there's multiple ways to throw these smokes, but I find these the safest ones since you have map control. The first smoke will smoke off steps. You just come up to the corner of this bench right here, aim at this little black dot at the bottom of this pillar right here, and jump throw. And I'll put a link to how to do a jump throw in the video card thingy there and in the description. And to smoke off bank, you just come up to this corner right here outside a connector, aim at the bottom left corner of the N, like so, and tap W and jump throw. Both of these smokes should smoke off steps and bank, like so. Very easy to throw, but again, they do require a jump throw and work for 64 tick only. So those two areas are smoked off, one of the more important ones. Now, if you are going to be having people take long, sometimes what is wise to do is, one, clear these angles right here. Again, make sure nobody's kind of pushed outside of the smoke or holding right here. We're going to push you from over here, which is why, again, kind of want to coordinate a take between both short and long. And then come up over here and just throw a Molotov over like so, just to kind of molly off anybody holding on truck. Like so. Again, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. As you can see, I kind of threw that one poorly and it landed on truck. But just kind of in this general area, just throw it over the wall to try and take out anybody holding truck. Because that angle is very hard to fight, as it's, one, hard to see anybody sitting there, and two, like, it's a lot of times just kind of a headshot angle. But those are some basic tips to taking the A site as a terrorist, and now we will move on to the CT side. So starting off on the A site as a CT, one option, as with every bomb site, is that you can just kind of hold passively on the site, wait for the terrorists to push, either holding from truck here, or watching long from here, sitting behind the dumpster, or just hiding on site in general. Pretty much anywhere, you know, you can do that, take that route. Or you can have an opper pushed up long here by flower box, holding the angle, watching long right here. Sometimes it might even peek into here briefly just to check, make sure nobody's pushing bathrooms if you don't have anybody holding short. But you can have an opper posted up here, or a rifle, or whatever. Maybe even smoke off the rock like so. Just so that you have one less angle to kind of watch. They have to peek you from over here, which is an option that you can do. Again, the CT side, holding it is kind of basic, but oftentimes what you'll have somebody do is take a quick peek here with the op, come up, quick peek, try and get a pick, and then fall back, either into connector or just short. Or you can have somebody posted up here with an op or a rifle, watching playground and watching bathrooms, or even posted up right here, watching short and party over here, making sure nobody's coming from connector. Another option is to have somebody playing inside of connector itself, usually with a rifle, or I guess if they're ballsy, an op, maybe even a shotgun if you're into that. Just watching connector, making sure nobody's going to be pushing up from there, like so. The nice part about having a person play connector is if they're doing a fast take B, they can kind of quickly pop this open, try and get some picks here as they push short or whatever. So that's the nice part about having somebody play connector. And if you don't see anybody in connector, you can also push up as a CT, sort of either sneakily, or if you just want to be a buffalo, run and try and come up behind the terrorists like so, while they're engaging any teammates playing long or short, like so. And the nice part about that is, rather than pushing from B, you don't have to open squeaky, which if somebody's at the top of connector, they might be able to hear. So you can do that as a CT towards the A site as well. And then there's always the option of holding here, so you can watch both bathrooms and long. Sort of an unexpected angle sometimes, where you can kind of come out and get a quick pick and then fall back, like so. Another good thing to do is try and throw a smoke up here, and then a molly up here. You can try and delay the terrace a little bit. And that will at least give you, depending on how well you throw the smoke or Molotov, a few seconds at the very least to get some information and get a better angle. The most important part is if you get a pick like right here, you want to change your angle. Make sure nobody's coming from there. So those are sort of the basic two areas that the CTs will be holding. Sometimes if they have like a shotgun or an SMG, they'll be holding right here. Or playing it right here. And then they can come in, take a quick peek here and here to try and take out the terrorist. The kind of crappy part about holding the A site proper is that you need more than one smoke to smoke off this area right here. You can try and throw it in the middle, but again, there's a gap right there, there's a gap right there. So you're going to have two sort of smokes to do that. But you can at least smoke off long, like so. And throw a Molotov in bathrooms, or throw a Molotov long, flash over, etc., etc. Now if you are holding the B site, a lot of times you'll have somebody posted up here with an op, either watching it short like this, or just kind of watching the entire site like this. This angle is a little bit more dangerous, again, because you're, well, out in the open. You can hold over here, take some shots, and fall back to this corner, but I like to hold up on this banister. I can see down into Monster, I can see the site itself, I can come over here and see the sandbag area, and then if I need to, I can fall back a lot quicker into the A site, either bank or up on dumpster to help as a sort of rotator to help the A site. So a lot of times you'll see somebody posted up here in heaven. You'll see somebody kind of holding right here, watching short, while somebody is over here at barrels, watching Monster. And there is a smoke you can do to smoke off Monster at the beginning of the round, but you have to have sort of a good spawn for it. So you just basically come up to the middle of this dumpster right here. Aim just at the tip of this pole right here and do a jump throw. It should bounce off the train track there and land inside a Monster like that. It's a little bit tricky to throw, but because you have to be sort of precise, but it is pretty useful if you want to sort of delay the terrorist and get a better position. Now for the person holding barrels here, they can also be watching short, as well as this guy, and then you can have somebody posted up graffiti watching long, or whatever, or Monster, excuse me. But the nice part about this guy holding barrels is if they start to push Monster, you hear them, or your teammate calls that they're pushing Monster, you can throw flashbangs off of the column, take a peek, like so, and then fall back, maybe even throw another one, or throw a Molotov if you still have one of those, and that'll land right there and delay them. So that's sort of the nice part about holding barrels, but again, you're kind of shit out of luck if they push you too fast. You're just sort of trapped in here. You kind of can crouch a little bit, trying to hide your head, but again, that's the downside to holding barrels. Another thing you can do, again, throw a flashbang like so, make it pop behind you, take a quick peek right there. And again, it's going to bounce off the column and pop right there, blinding anybody inside of the pillar. They'll be able to hear it bounce, but again, they'll at the very least be forced to turn away. So again, just throw it off like so. Try not to blind yourself like I just did and take the quick peek. Now, if you have a rifle, like a M4 or even a shotgun, maybe an MP7 or something like that, if it's an eco round, you can kind of take short control like this. Make sure there's no terrorists pushing in here. And then if you either get a pick or get it all clear, you can push down into here and hold this angle and watch tunnel, watch connector. The thing about Overpass here is you'll notice I have a lot of sort of aggressive strategies, and a lot of times that's what you want to do on Overpass, just because it's such a wide open map, especially at the top there, where you want to have that aggressive map control and get map control early, try and take the terrorists down and make them push back into either connector or Monster or wherever, and get that map control before they get it. You can also have somebody holding here. If you only have one person on the B site, have somebody rotate up to A or whatever the situation may be. They can hold here in graffiti and try and get a couple quick picks and then just sort of hold here. Even throw flashbangs off of here. That pops right over there. Or you can even hold from over here. Again, throw flashbangs off. Oh, that was a bad one. Like so. They'll pop over the wall. Either have somebody boost you over like this. That is wall bangable. And then obviously clear this as a retake. But those are just some basic sort of things you can do as a CT, and some basic things you can do as a terrorist. But as always, thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.